right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of the Dumpster Diaries. As always, I'm your host, Justin Allen.
And I am Moses Wartooth.
And we got some stuff for you guys today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, man. So I got to start off the show. We got to talk about something right off the bat.
Let's go.
All right, man. Remember how I've been kind of like harping about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he just did a congressional hearing over censorship.
Why would he do that?
Well, he's been like heavily censored by like YouTube, right?
Damn, that's typically reserved for right wings.
Yeah. And, so, I mean, as a Democrat, they're cutting him down, man. I think a lot of it is his opinions on like vaccines and stuff like that.
That should tell you something.
Yeah.
Whenever the left is trying to censor, they're typically censoring some truth.
Yeah, I mean, it was many things, but that was a big one they kind of harped on. But it wasn't just him as a witness. There was three other individuals there.
Oh, okay.
And like one lady, I think her name was Mrs. Morris. She was the journalist who broke the original story about the Hunter Biden laptop.
Oh,
story.
shit, okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Again, some honest truth.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, we couldn't go through and play it on here because, I mean, it was, I mean, they had an intermission, but I think it was over a 3-hour hearing.
Oh, fuck, okay.
Yeah, and he did not back down at all, man. And they were just, it was actually kind of sad to watch, man. The Republicans seemed to be the only guys who kind of had his back. And the Democrats that were on that board, that were like grilling him, essentially, were just trying to like shut him up, and they're talking over him and like it was garbage, man.
So again, that tells me that he's probably talking about something real.
Yeah. And there was one lady on there, and she, Congresswoman, and she, I mean, I know everyone's got their opinions, but she made every single thing about race. She was a black lady, I'll be honest with you, and everything that she talked about came back to that, and she was trying to paint him as a racist.
That's the age-old fucking argument. Whenever you don't have a leg to stand on, you just fall back on the racism card.
Yeah, and that she actually said in one of her statements that she gets accused of or people in general get accused of playing the race card if they want to speak some truth. And he was just essentially like, what are you talking about?
That's like totally opposite.
Yeah. And so one thing that was interesting is she was like misquoting him, right? And he had at one point referenced the Tuskegee experiments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're familiar with that. I mean, I think everyone kind of knows about that. How the CDC, our government, was intentionally infecting, and it was a black community. It was in rural South with sexually transmitted diseases,
mm-hmm.
like injecting them with syphilis and stuff like that.
And then
right?
later on, introducing the crack rock.
Yeah, that was next generation, but
in time.
So she was trying to basically, I don't know what she was getting at.
So basically, she was backed into a corner of bullshit and had to toss the race card out so she could continue speaking.
Yeah, and well, he shut her the fuck down.
Good stuff
with that, and he brought it up, and he talked about the director. I think it was the director of the CIA. It was a gentleman that worked for the not CIA, the CDC,
mm-hmm.
And he was for years trying to blow the whistle on the Tuskegee experiments. Like, hey, we can't do this, right?
This is wrong.
Yeah, it's human experiments.
Yeah,
fuck this, right? And eventually, he went to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s father, who was the U.S. Attorney General, told him the story. It was like, hey, this needs to end. And then they went into JFK's office, the president's office, and then the Kennedys actually went down and shut that program down. So, dude, she had nothing to say to that. He was like, are you fucking kidding me? My family shut that shit down.
Yeah.
And
without them, they would have continued on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, she was bringing up all kinds of crazy shit, like replacement theory. Trying to accuse him of believing in replacement theory. Have you ever heard of that?
No. What is that?
So replacement theory is this idea that essentially all these positions in society or whatever it may be, white people are getting pushed out, minorities getting pushed in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, very, very aggressive affirmative action, essentially, right?
So, like, how people think Obama won the presidency?
Yeah. And he just completely denounced it. He was like, that is, like, racist. And he was like, I mean, he didn't cuss, but he was like, that is bullshit, you know? But even more interesting was the lady who broke the story on the Hunter Biden laptop, man. Oh, my God. I don't even want to, like, quote it because I'm going to probably misquote a lot of what she said. But she was just like, hey, there's a lot to this story. There was a lot of collusion. There's a lot of backdoor deals happening.
Obviously.
Yeah. And she just was like, she actually was laughing at some points. Are you like,
that it was
guys,
just that insane?
Yeah.
Like,
she was just like, there's no denying it. And they were asking about, like, was like forensic work done on these hard drives and shit.
Why wasn't forensic work done about the cocaine found in the White House? We all know who the fuck had it.
Wait, was there really cocaine in the White House?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
What was that?
No, literally, cocaine was found in the White House. This was a couple of weeks ago. But
what do you mean found in the White House?
In the White House.
On a coffee table somewhere?
Literally sitting in a fucking cubbyhole. Like, where people go to deposit their shit, like, whenever they're going. It was one of the places where typically, like, press and close family members, maybe of the president, but anyways, they found some cocaine in there, but they were just magically fucking, it was a whole whodunit. Like, they acted like they had no idea who left that shit, but yet they fucking got Osama bin Laden out of a cave in the Middle East, but they don't know who the fuck brought coke to the White House.
They found that Gaddafi dude in a hole, right?
Yeah,
remember that shit?
Yeah, but goddamn, leave a little white in the coke in the White House, like, it's a goddamn mystery.
Oh my god, man! I bet.
And they've already came out and said, they were like, it's highly likely we will never know who did this.
God, dude, that's just like the most. Like,
but yet, if I was to ever have a little coke on me, they'd sure as shit know they'd know who did that.
Yeah, you're going to jail, dude.
Yeah.
You're going to jail. Have fun.
He's like,
go to jail in America. That's a different story.
Don's like, don't I have a son that does that? They're like, no, it's all good.
Oh man, dude, I don't know what the hell like happened.
The level of corruption.
Well, like, and like, I feel, maybe you feel like this. I don't know if it's just because, like, I was a kid, 20, 25 years ago. Like, I don't know. Like, I just felt like when I was younger, like, especially like in the 90s, right? Well, I was born in the 90s, but early 90s. Like, presidents just, like, I don't know, they had like a presidential demeanor about them. Like, they had, like, you had like a trust in them, even though there
and a respect.
Yeah, there may be issues or whatever, but like, it was never anything crazy. And then I think, like, once Bill Clinton got his dick sucked, then it was just like kind of downhill from there, dude.
That was a goddamn free for all.
Man, did I ever tell you, like, some of my favorite presidents or whatever?
No.
Yeah, man. One of them I actually really like, and he's a controversial subject, but was a George Bush Sr., man. This guy was just a fucking gangster, dude. So he started out, he was a young guy, and he was in World War II. He was a Navy pilot during World War II, and, got shot down, all this other stuff, decorated. Fucking just crazy story there, man. And then he ran, I believe, as a representative, and then he won. And then he went on to, I get the timeline kind of confused. He went on to become, what was it? He became the United States ambassador to the UN. And then he became, like, an ambassador working in China. Eventually became the director of the CIA.
So he has a fucking healthy record.
Oh, it keeps going. Just like, and then he becomes the vice president for Ronald Reagan for his entire 2 terms. Then he becomes president of the United States. And
so at that point, he's already earned the American people's respect.
Yeah.
Based on his fucking credentials.
Even if you don't agree with what he was doing. Like,
you gotta respect what he's done.
Yeah, respect what he's done. And then that dude had access to, like, so much information over, like, 30 years. You know what I mean? It's like, at some point, you gotta try. Like, I mean, he ran the CIA, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, we all know they can't be trusted, but maybe in his time.
Isn't it crazy how shit just keeps coming out? About 50 years down the road, like, some new story drops.
The people who you thought were the most trustworthy are actually the most corrupt.
Yeah, man. But, one thing I do like about George Bush Sr. was he's the only modern president who has never written a book. Like a biography about his life, right? I mean, they don't write their own books, right? But But yeah, he refused to have like any books published like under his name, because he was basically like, I'm taking this shit to the grave. So there's like basically like one book that's published by members of his family, I believe, and all it is a timeline of U.S. history while he was alive, like in office, and they attach personal letters that he had written friends and family during those times. So you can see like what was in his mind, like what was he thinking and shit. So I kind of want to read that book, man. I think that should be like pretty good or whatever.
He was like, today I ate 3 Little Debbies and smoked a blunt. I'm still the ambassador of China.
Fuck you. Yeah, man. But then like, I kind of want to like know. I mean, I guess we'll never really know. But like, what did he think about his son, George Bush Jr.? You know,
he probably thought he was a bumbling idiot.
Yeah, dude. I don't.
But I mean, given the cards he was handed, I mean, he at least something happened. I mean, he handled shit, whether or not it was right or wrong.
I think
the appropriate actions were taken.
And it like, you know, George Bush Jr., man, was kind of crazy. He was controversial a little bit in himself because he actually holds the record for the highest approval rating for any president in history, and simultaneously holds the record for the lowest approval rating in history. So, like, 9/11 happened, everybody was American, right? They were like, woo! Like, everybody had American flags. They were like, let's fucking go turn.
Waving them proud to be.
Slamming Bud Lights, not doing shit. You know, but, and then as the war dragged on and all that shit, and then, like, really, honestly, him getting in Iraq, that's what fucking pissed people off. They were like, yo, like, the Iraqis had nothing to do with 9/11. Like, why are we even there?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you've been pissing my daddy off since day one, so I'm going to go in here and handle this shit.
Like, I done held a grudge on you. You thought I forgot. I'm back.
Yeah. God damn, dude.
Got these bombs now.
Yeah, dude. But like when you start reading into the Bush family, dude, like that political nepotism is insane, and how far like it branches out like a spider web, dude. Probably more like octopus tentacles than anything. But like he went to like so both Bushes went to Yale, right? Mm-hmm. And then what's at Yale? Skull and Bones fraternity, dude.
Oh yeah,
that conspiracy theory. Yeah, you want to hear some crazy shit? Listen to this. So George Bush Jr. went to Yale, and he was clearly in the Skull and Bones. There's pictures that have been released of like his little like graduating class from that group of like men or whatever, and John Kerry graduated with him, and they were like best buds like in college or whatever. And what's interesting is John Kerry would eventually run against George Bush Jr. for president. They
probably called each other up and was like, yo, man, let's run against each other, and whoever wins, we both win.
Yes. So I don't know if you remember that election, but it was super contested, and it came down to, like, I believe Florida, and it was, like, a difference of, like, 27 votes.
Yep.
They had to, like, hand count it, like, 3 different times, right? And the thing is, like, as soon as George Bush Jr. won the presidency, he turned around and made John Kerry Secretary of State.
Mm-hmm. Which probably would have happened. It would have been the same thing if Kerry would have won.
Yeah.
He would have called up and made Bush.
I really think so. Isn't it good to have friends in high places?
True. Be like, hey, my boy, I got you.
Oh my God, man. I would love to be able to like just talk to those dudes like off the record for like a little bit or whatever. You know what I mean?
They'll never tell their secrets.
Yeah. But the CIA now, like, it's just fucking crazy, man. There's like all kinds of shit. I mean, you don't really know what to believe, right? But just knowing what has been declassified and released to us.
And knowing what they've done, dude. They've done some fucked up things.
Oh, God, dude. Even going back to, like, all the major wars and shit.
Yeah, the CIA and the FBI are fucking corrupt as shit.
Yeah, the FBI is, like, getting real interesting.
Dude, the FBI is, like, Biden's fucking guard dogs now.
They're just goons.
Yeah.
They're just like, we're not going to investigate this. Like, why not?
Nah, they're like, right-wing dude, we're going to fucking kick down your goddamn door. 78 years old, judge, you're done. Get out of here. Like,
dude, speaking of FBI, did you ever read James Comey's book?
No.
All right, so I read that shit. And, I mean, it was just about his life and, like, his career or whatever, and how he became the director of the FBI and how Trump, like, fired him or whatever, right? And he really, really harped on Trump at the end, like, in the last chapter. But, freaking, he talked about, like, Hillary Clinton getting interviewed over, like, all those emails and all that shit and everything, right? And So he said that they decided not to pursue legal action against her because essentially it was like an honest mistake on her part. And he quoted in the book, he described her describing what the internet was and how it worked. And she said, because they were talking about cybersecurity and everything, and she said, well, no one can break into my computer because it's in my basement behind concrete walls. Like she was.
So she didn't understand the internet.
She was pretending she didn't understand the internet. Now, let me tell you something, man. This woman is a full-fledged attorney. Okay? She was a senator. All right? That LSAT test and all that schooling you have to go through, there is no fucking way on this green earth you can actually become a full-fledged attorney and not understand how the goddamn internet works.
True.
So and apparently she has an extremely high IQ. Like genius level.
I mean,
IQ.
She's extremely manipulative.
So
which is normally a trait of being smarter.
I really think that she's
a goddamn criminal mastermind.
A criminal mastermind. Yeah, dude. So I don't know, dude.
She was worried about fucking video games in the 90s, and then she was off diddling kids. Like, how's that fucking
sending
work?
them down to Epstein's Island or whatever, dude.
Like, my husband Bill needs a new plaything.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
But all their ties, especially like the intelligence community, is like, you don't even know what to trust anymore, to be honest with you.
No.
I did read a interesting fact. Did you know the CIA actually has a budget to finance Hollywood movies?
I have heard about that, actually.
Yeah, this is not even a conspiracy theory. This is a
it's
real
legitimately proven. Yeah.
I think it's 7 or 8 movies they've financed or whatever, and it's just wild. Like they paint, they do that to paint their image to the public or whatever, you know. Because sometimes I wonder, what are these people really capable of? You know?
Dude, you remember that movie Air Bud?
Yeah.
CIA. Yeah. Straight CIA sponsored, 100%. The American people were a little bit too they were getting on their tail a little bit much. They were talking dog playing basketball.
We got this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. It's or anytime there's some major dirty shit going up, they'll just throw something out in the news or whatever.
They're people really liked, things were going down. Aliens were going to get exposed. Why do you think they put out The New Little Mermaid? Added some racial situations in there to really upstart the community.
Dude, it kind of makes you wonder, you know what I mean? Especially, I'll just say one, all the alien stuff that they're coming out with. It's dude, we're on the verge of going straight up to war with Russia, and they're just aliens are real.
But imagine if that information would have been released in the 90s, people would have lost their fucking minds. Now no one cares, which I don't understand that.
Well, it's just kind of we've just been dragged through the shit, you know?
Is it that, or that's what I was gonna say? Are we just so desensitized we just don't even fucking care about anything anymore?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is it gonna take if they're aliens are fucking real and no one is impressed by that anymore? Yeah, that says something. That's.
Well, I think a lot of it too, man. We're starting to kind of just realize. I don't know. I feel like we're kind of starting to realize, dude, all these elected officials really do not give a shit about us.
No, not at all.
Oh, I got a fucking great story about that. So you remember when you were in the military, I'm sure you worked with a guy or girl or whoever who had a family member who passed away, a mom, a dad, a sibling, grandparent they were close to, something that, right? And then they had to go home for the funeral and all that stuff, right? All right, so check this shit out. I know this from personal experience. There is no fund to send a service member home for that. So your parents
if my mom died, I would have to pay for my plane ticket back home?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now there's charities and stuff like the Red Cross that help people out.
And you can take short-term loans out.
Yes. And this is more focusing on the younger recruits who don't make a whole lot of money and all that. That's kind of what I'm more concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit about some
if you're a goddamn 17-year-old E7 and you ain't got the money to pay plane
you're making six figures a year.
Yeah,
it's
that's kind of on you.
Sure you can afford that
$800
plane ticket. But what gets me is Congress. So all of Congress, they have a mutual fund between all of them. It's a travel fund that they can use to just get on a plane, go wherever they need to go, do their business.
Go to the Poconos.
They just indefinite, right? Whatever they want to use it for. Do you want to take a shot in the dark at how much that fund is worth?
100 million.
500 million.
500 million.
$500 million. Now I'll even do you one better. How much of that money do you think they use every year?
They probably use a lot of it.
3%.
3
on average.
So they got 97% of $500 million that are just wasted every year.
So they use about $15 million a year on average. And then so you got $485 million that just sits there. And then meanwhile, you got like some E2 who's like, I saw this, like some E2 kid whose dad just died. He can't afford a fucking plane ticket home. You know what I mean?
So they're like, sorry, bud.
Yeah.
Get to work.
But all those motherfuckers, they get up there on those like pedestals, dude, and they start like bleeding heart Americans.
Oh yeah, they're like, we put the people first. We care about you guys so much.
Dude. Fuck them, man.
They're lying to you.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, traveling's expensive. I get it. You have to have a fun, right? You know what I mean? Like, but $500 million, like, you know, like we have a whole Air Force. Like, why can't we just like be
sure,
like, hey,
like,
you gotta get your ass on
we
C-130,
literally
dude.
fly fucking training missions all the time. Like,
Yeah.
put one of them stupid motherfuckers on there and take them to the goddamn Nevada where they want to go.
Dump it off in the desert.
Kick them out, parachute. You got this, right? Okay, cool.
Dude, traveling. I love going to destinations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like being somewhere, that's cool. But the traveling process, I absolutely freaking loathe, man.
It's miserable.
God, dude, like flying in planes, driving. I mean, I'll take flying in a plane over driving.
Waiting in the airport.
Yeah, dude.
Going through security.
Dude, listen, last time I traveled, man, I was in Philly for a little while, right? And, you know, what's one thing like Philly's always famous for?
Philly cheesesteak.
Exactly, man. So I'm getting there, and I'm like looking forward to it. I'm like, man, I'm gonna eat a Philly cheesesteak.
Hell yeah, Philly cheesesteaks are good.
Oh, they're good. But dude, I ate 3 while I was there. Every single one of them tasted like dog shit.
How?
Dude, I don't know,
How?
man. They were just like the gross. It was like the
like
driest
just greasy
bread.
or
No, it was just like super dry bread, like almost stale bread. Like the meat was super dry. There wasn't a lot of cheese. Like it was just like not what I was expecting.
Dude, I picture like taking a bite of that motherfucker and then just dripping all into my beard, like immediately just gushing shit, dude.
But you know one place that is good if you can find it? We don't really have it around here. That Charlie's place.
What kind of is that? Subs? What kind of?
Yeah,
food
it's
is
like they focus on like cheesesteaks.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, it's the best shit I've ever had.
You know what my
And
shit is
what's
that is not around here? Fucking Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake. I never had that, man.
Dude, I love that shit. They have a menu of milkshakes, any goddamn flavor, and they're good. They're homemade, like made on the spot. Ain't no goddamn Sonic bullshit. They're good, and then all of their hamburgers, they have a fucking plethora. All they serve is steak burgers and shakes and fries.
Oh, hell yeah.
But it's fucking good.
Is it an American chain?
Yeah, I had it in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
It's fucking good.
Yeah, dude.
Texas needs to wake up.
Yeah, I had when I traveled to London, I had Shake Shack, right? I thought they were pretty good, man.
Yeah.
But I remember I'm sitting out there, and I'm walking out, and I got like a milkshake and like eating a burger, just like on the street or whatever, just like a savage. And all of a sudden, like a dozen people like swarm me, right? And I'm just like, and this is like a true story. I mean, it's not a crazy story, but it freaked me out at first. So they all had like headphones on, like those Beats by Dre or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm just surrounded in this crowd of fucking people, and they're literally just all dancing.
Dude, it was a goddamn silent concert.
It was a silent disco. And that was the first time I'd ever seen that shit. And I was like, oh my God, dude. And then, like the guy leading it, man, like he was like the typical like spandex, like super overly enthusiastic. What was that guy when we were kids that had that workout commercial?
Richard Simmons.
It was some shit like that, man. It was like some Richard Simmons shit going on, dude.
He was like, hey man, you don't need to be eating that burger. You fucking had 27 carbs already this morning.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It's good. They're having a good time though. I mean,
they had a lot of those in Korea.
Yeah. Did you ever do one of those, what do they call it? I saw them in Korea. They would be like, shoot, I can't think of the name. It's like you do like a 5K, but then you have to like stop at like a pub. Like there's like all these like bars you have to stop at or whatever.
I want to say it was called a fun run, but that's not what it was called.
By the time you get to the end of it, you're
like,
just wasted.
Yeah, like fun run / pub crawl type shit. There is a name for it, but I can't think of it.
Yeah, I wanted to do one, then I realized I was like, I don't have the cardio for that shit.
Fuck running.
Fuck running.
It was called a goddamn beer run. I don't know.
Beer run. There's some weird shit out there, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of weird shit, you familiar with the actress Gwyneth Paltrow?
That name is familiar. I can't put it name to the face or whatever.
I cannot stand this woman. I can't. I don't even know if I can even talk about it, honestly.
What does she do?
Oh, dude, it's. So where do I start? So she has. So she's famous. She's obviously been an actress for a while, but I think her big role is that she was that Pepper girl in the Iron Man movies. Okay, it was basically like Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man's assistant, right?
Okay.
And then I haven't seen them all or anything like that, but I think because I did just start watching Marvel movies.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. After we talked about it, and I was like, I've never really seen any. I was like, yeah, I gotta watch them.
Well, congratulations. That's one more thing we'll never be able to talk about together.
Well, I think they kind of developed like an intimate relationship or whatever. But anyway.
Offset or onset?
Onset, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Robert Downey Jr. is pretty legit. I think he's like a professional, man.
She ain't worth his time.
Yeah. But this woman, like, in her personal life is crazy, dude.
Really?
Yes. So she has a company that sells, like, I don't even know what the hell you call it, but, like, new age holistic medicine or whatever the hell it may be. Like
bath beads and essential oils and shit.
You know, if it was just that, we wouldn't be talking about it, man. So,
she fucking ups the ante.
I'll do you one. She sells a candle that smells like her pussy, apparently.
What the fuck would that, like, how do you even create that scent?
Dude, I don't know.
I wonder what her pussy, maybe, do people buy that out of curiosity?
Well, she's at,
Is she an attractive woman?
Yeah, she's pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, skinny blonde.
Okay.
She's pretty. I mean, I think she's pretty.
So people would want to know what her pussy smells like.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. But she also looks about 10 pounds of crazy shoved in a 5-pound bag.
Okay.
So, err on the side
Depends
of caution.
on how much you want to mold that clay.
But, like, also on her, like, I think one thing I was reading about, I think it was a lawsuit. She had, like, this thing, it was, like, I don't know, like a marble or, like, jade egg, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was, like, a steamed egg. Like, you steam this thing, and then women are supposed to shove it up there, and then, like, I guess it's supposed to, like, make, like, them smell better, and then it's supposed to, like, tighten muscles and, like, all this other shit. And then, anyway, I guess, like, women were doing this and, like, getting, like, infections and, like, all kinds of shit. And so, like,
she was like, you're not cleaning it properly.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you gotta get on her store.
So they're just jamming eggs up their pussy?
Yeah. that's what I gather. Like, Gwyneth Paltrow told, like, I would never guess in a million years, like, that actress had that much sway.
I'd be like, if Tom Cruise told me to shove something at my dick hole, I'm not gonna listen to him.
Yeah. Tom Cruise is another crazy one, man. That Scientology shit, man. That's
the couch jumper.
Oh yeah, remember when he grabs Oprah's hands and shit?
Yeah.
He's like, I love Katie Holmes, and then they get divorced like a few years later. Yeah. One thing I do like about Tom Cruise though is that, you know, he does all his own stunts.
Oh yeah, he's like getting old.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck his last movie was, he jumped over some goddamn like
probably Mission Impossible.
Yeah, that was what it was.
Mission Impossible 14.
He did like this crazy stunt, but he did it himself.
Yeah, he does all that shit, man. Like that typical.
Oh,
scene.
he jumped off he drove a motorcycle over a fucking cliff and then jumped off of it and parachuted down. Like that shit's epic.
God,
that's like action movie shit. That's cool that he does his own stunts.
But like he also, I know you've probably seen it on the internet. That scene where he's hanging on the side of that airplane and it's taking off on the runway.
Oh yeah.
Like that's actually him.
And it's actually a realistic scenario.
It's a real plane.
Fuck.
And he's just strapped to a body harness and he's hanging on and this fucking thing is taking off, dude. So I guess he's committed to the trade, man. But he's got that Scientology shit, you know.
That's it, man. His fucking thetan levels, they're off the charts.
Yeah.
That's how he can do his own stunts.
He paid all that money, got rid of them thetans, right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Do they want thetans or do they not?
No, you don't. If you have a high thetan level, that's not good.
Yeah, it's like the trap souls.
Yeah, because they'll jam that thing between your fucking legs, straddle your nuts, and be like, "Holy fuck, you got a high thetan level. Not good, not gonna work. You got to pay us money."
I still can't get over that South Park episode, man.
It's funny.
Stan gets like super into it and shit, and it's just like a total scam or whatever, dude. Those guys are crazy. I don't know, man. Maybe we should quit talking about those guys, dude. You know, they'll come like hunt us down from what I hear, man. Like they'll send private investigators.
That's fine. I want one on the show. We can interview him. We can ask him all the questions. Try to shed a little light on this scenario. Maybe we're totally wrong. Maybe it's legit.
Well, I know we talked about having guests on here, like in the future and stuff. You know, like local guys, you know, interesting people. But like, dude, yeah, there was like someone who was a legit Scientologist, Like, I wouldn't even be rude. Like, I wouldn't even, like, make
No,
fun
I just
of
got
him.
actual questions
Like,
for him.
I would just genuinely want to know, man. I don't know. You think we could possibly, like, reach out online and, like, do it, like, I don't know, like, over Zoom or some shit like that?
Maybe.
I know that's kind of cheesy. People
if there's a true Scientologist that wants to expose himself and answer some questions.
I'd be down to listen. I give it a listen. You know, don't knock it till you try it kind of thing.
True.
Yeah, man. I don't know, dude. Those guys are crazy, man. But, I do have a crazy story for you. Well, it's not really crazy, but it is very coincidental. So you know me, man, like, the thing about, like, Moses and I, like, if we ever go out into town or anything, like, if I say someone's name in passing in a conversation, like, that morning or, like, the day before or whatever, like, we will run into that person.
Yeah, it's hilarious and terrible at the same time.
Yeah, and it's like, there's, like, I don't know, some sort of gift, whatever.
Or a curse.
A curse, yeah, but I can, for whatever reason, damn near physically manifest just about any person I want, right? And it's typically someone I don't want to see. Yeah. Well, so when we were in high school, right, I think I was either a senior or I was a junior. I can't remember. We had a teacher. Okay, we both had her, named Miss Davis. Okay. And everyone liked her. She was a nice lady or whatever. She could be a little rough around the edges, but whatever. She didn't particularly like me because I was a solid 2.0 GPA student, never showed up, and basically didn't respect her class, so she was just kind of like over my shit.
Called her class a little bit of bullshit. I overheard. The start of a beautiful friendship.
So anyway, like, one day, I don't even remember exactly what I said, but I remember it wasn't that bad. Okay. But she freaked out. Like, it became a thing. But I can't remember exactly how it went down, but I was talking to her. I ran into her in the hallway and I was talking to her and we were having a good conversation. And I just made a joke about taking her out on a date. and this woman was like single too, like, you know, hardcore single.
Yeah, and she was like mid-30s.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah. She was definitely over 30, I would say.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. She could have been, I don't know.
You never know.
Yeah.
And so
we're going to say she was over 30.
So I make a joke. Something like, I'm talking about me, you, yeah. Maybe
Applebee's.
Dude, Applebee's was still open.
2 for Tuesday. What's up?
They got that 2 for Tuesday special. Happy hour starts at 5. I'll see you there, right?
You're like, you're cool to buy me drinks, right?
I'm like 17.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, man, so like, she like instantly gets defensive, right?
She's like, whoa.
Yes. And I instantly realized like she did not take that as a joke.
Yeah.
And she was just like, you need to stop right now. And you need to not take this any further. And I was like, man, I was just joking. Like, I literally, I folded it. So I was like, that was a complete joke.
Jesus Christ, I did not want to fuck you anyway.
And so then, like, she just, like, stormed off, right? And then, like, never made eye contact with me again. Like, none of this other shit, right? So I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, right?
She was like, you fucking pervert.
But at that fucking time, in the news in our country, like, it was just all kinds of teachers getting in trouble for fucking students.
Yeah.
So I think she was just trying to, like,
distance herself and play it safe.
Yeah, cover her ass on that one. I know she really had to cover her ass. She didn't do anything, so, but you know,
sure.
But like just get away from it. You know, like you said, man. And so anyway, I never give it any more thought. I'm like, whatever, cool. Like years go by, man. I go to the military, like all this, like whatever. Right? I get out. I'm like, all right, man. I'm gonna go back to school, right? And I'm walking through the hallway, and sure as shit, I think this was like a day or two after I told you this story. Sure as shit, she's walking down the same hallway, like in the opposite direction. So we pass. And dude, the look on her face was just like, what the fuck, right? Like it was, there was like a moment where it was like, should I say hi? Or, no, we're going to leave that, you know? And so then I asked one of my friends, I was like, hey, you know, like, was that Miss Davis? Or they're like, yeah. How do you know her? I was like,
Had a couple of awkward confrontations there. You should have walked by and been like, so this is where you've been. I've been waiting.
I've been looking for you for years. Or like just leave like a rose on her desk.
Be like, I'm over 18 now.
I just think it'd be funny, like, just leave it, like, I don't know, like, box of chocolates.
Leave like an apple with a bite taken out of it on her desk. Be like, so how about that dinner date?
Dude, yeah, man. It was awkward for her. It was awkward for me. I was like, whatever. But, you know, I don't know. I was just a kid joking around, you know what I mean? So, maybe I was an asshole or whatever.
She was trying to play it safe, man. She didn't want to get caught up. She knew she would catch feelings. She knew it would be a disaster.
Yeah, man, for sure, dude. I don't know. Maybe I should swing by her office and be like,
Maybe so. Try to rekindle the old relationship. Just be like, look, I know we left on a bad terms, but I miss you, baby.
It's not you, it's me. Okay, like that whole
I've
conversation.
matured now. I've matured.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I don't know, but that's definitely a interesting situation to say the least. Because I mean, that was the last person in the world I was expecting to see at the university. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, she teaches there now. That's what I should have mentioned earlier on. She's a teacher there. Lecturer.
That would be weird as fuck.
Yeah, I thought about taking her class.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should have been like, what class are you teaching? I'll be seeing you later.
Just never break eye contact. But then like it's just like totally just me full of hate. Be like, do you know what my life has been like?
Take the class and just every day just walk in there and just stare at her and never do anything else. Just fail the fucking class. Like, don't do any work. Just go in there and stare at her for an hour.
Like, don't even smile at no facial reactions or whatever. Oh man, I can put on a good face if I need to. She
would probably call security and be like, "This person is trying to kill me."
Oh no, I don't think it wouldn't. It wouldn't that bad. Maybe. I mean, you never know. You never know, right?
Depends on how you want to play it. I don't know.
Oh man, speaking of like security and stuff, dude. I know we kind of mentioned it earlier. You said you wanted to talk about it a little bit. So when I was, how do I word this without like incriminating myself, right? So how it works in the military, whenever someone's stationed anywhere, whether it's in the continental United States or overseas somewhere, Europe, Japan, anywhere in Asia, whatever, there's always the typical the blacklist, right?
Oh yeah,
like,
places you're not supposed to go to.
Places you are not allowed to go to, and for the most part, those places are based on legitimate reasons.
Yeah, typically it's violence, drug use, anything that military members are not supposed to be indulging in.
Yeah. And so, anyway, when I was stationed, I don't even know if I want to say where.
Say in a foreign country.
When I was somewhere in America, I'll put it that way. Okay. There was this club that was blacklisted, right? And at this point, I have a part-time job while I'm in the military. I'm actually working at another nightclub as a door guy, checking IDs or whatever, just trying to make extra money, just doing it on the weekends, right? So I'm getting ready to leave this base or whatnot. And I'm like, man, I want to try this blacklisted club. Because I had heard that it was just crazy. Like, it was just insane. And so it was essentially like a black club, right?
So it was a blacklisted black club.
Yeah, there you go, right? And like the entire parking lot, like when you show up, it like looks like a rap video. Like it's just a bunch of like jacked up like old box cars, like on
so they got
rims.
some badass music systems.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I'm
dude.
all about that shit. I love that
gold
stuff.
chains, like pit bulls out there, like you fucking name it, dude. Like dudes walking around with big ass clocks, like Flavor Flav and shit. Like it was a good fucking time. I was like, all right, but I'd always had to go past this place, but I could never go into it, right?
Yeah,
because it was a different club, and I don't remember the whole backstory on why it got banned. I think there was someone in the military who got in a fight, and then he got beat down by like 5 dudes, and then the base was like,
there's probably some gang shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of that's going on there. And so anyway, it's like my last couple of weekends there, and I'm just like, dude, I cannot pass up this opportunity. Right?
You have to find out what it's all about.
Yeah. At this point in my life, like I'm fairly, I mean, I got like, career and stuff, but like my free time, I'm pretty reckless.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And so I'm like, well, shit, man. Like, cause you know how the base has like the base investigators, and they look for that shit, right? Like they go out and they're like trying to find their people doing things that they shouldn't be doing or whatever. Right?
Oh yeah.
And I wasn't doing like any drugs or anything like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
if you're in OSI, look at that as an episode, or like look at that as you're in the movie Training Day. Yeah. You're gonna go up. They're gonna be like, you gotta hit this line.
I didn't know you like Smoke Wet.
Yeah,
that was a good movie, dude.
I love that movie.
I might go watch it tonight. Actually,
it was good.
We should throw on popcorn. We should do a live episode, throw on popcorn, and then just like literally commentate like Training Day one day.
I would be down. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
You think we get sued for that?
No. No, because that movie, what's that Canadian show? Something Movie Theater 3000.
Oh.
No, it's literally a movie. It's literally a movie where they play a movie and robots commentate on it in a movie theater.
Oh, really?
Okay. It's old.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out. But so I'm like, all right, dude, like, dog, like, I gotta go see this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at this point, I've been working in the nightclub industry for well over a year, so I knew a lot of people
in the scene,
completely away from the military.
Yeah.
Right.
What did they say about the place?
Who?
Like
the people I knew?
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm sure you knew people that have like been there before.
One of my good friends, who was a black guy, we actually talked about him on the show before. He said, "I would not take your Wonder Bread ass in there."
So even he issued a warning. Okay,
yeah, dude.
Okay.
So I'm like, I cannot.
I must know what goes on in this place. What was it called? Do you remember?
It was called Coco Pelli's.
Coco Pelli.
Okay, do you know what that means?
I don't.
Okay, so I'm trying to believe it is a Native American goddess of fertility. I believe it's the Navajos.
Okay.
And so, have you ever seen like the image? You'll see it a lot, like in like Arizona, New Mexico. I mean, you spend a lot of time.
The fucking dude blowing the thing.
Blowing the flute.
Yeah, with the 3 hair deals.
Yes. So that's Coco Pelli.
That was their logo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and as a goddess of fertility, right?
Okay.
Which I just thought it was like an interesting name for a club. It's like, are you trying to like insinuate like
people are getting pregnant out there?
Yeah, yeah, we're just knocking people up left and right, you know?
Based off of what I know so far, I feel like that club was established in the 70s, but I don't know.
I don't know. I think it actually has been there like a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still open by any means. It's been a long time. But so anyway, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this, right? And you know, like, you're always like covering your ass while you're in the military. You're doing anything you remotely
should not be doing. Yeah.
Even though I don't feel like I did anything wrong, I just went to a nightclub. So I go and I get like a wig, right? Like a men's wig that has like longer hair that's like layered and shit, you know? Just think
like,
think Brad Pitt in World War Z.
Okay.
We got some shit going on.
I was thinking like some Zac Efron type shit. Like...
That actually might be, it was a little shorter, so yeah, some Zac Efron shit was going on. And then I throw a beanie on, right? And then I got like sunglasses on, and then I get temporary tattoos. I think they were swallows, like the bird. I put one on each side of the neck, and then I get like another tattoo, like fake tattoo on my hand or whatever. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going, man. And I go and I wait in this line, dude.
So you're fucking fake neck tatted up, 2 swallows. Oh man,
like a wig on, a beanie, all this shit. And dude, like, I'm like walking through this fucking parking lot, and it's not a multi-story park; it's all flat. Right?
Okay.
So to kind of paint an image, right? And it's right outside the door of this place. And dude, I mean, there's like cars on hydraulics, like there's like women just like twerking and shit. Like, I mean, it. Like, imagine a set for like a Little Boozy song, and that's what you're working with, you know. And then here's like my ass walking through them, totally out of place. They probably just thought I was a cop or something.
Yeah. You're like, yo, what's that swallow neck motherfucker doing over there?
And so I go and I'm waiting in line, man, and I'm just like seeing and hearing all this crazy shit, man, and it's just like lingo and shit I'd never even fucking heard. I was like, damn, man, you guys are like on a whole nother level, like, you know. And so I get into this club, and I'd always heard rumors about this club, that it was just like anything goes, right? There was just anything goes. And, you know, it's not like a strip club, it's just typical nightclub bars.
Yeah.
There, right? Man, I get in there, and it is the wildest shit I'd ever seen in my life, dude. There's like dudes walking around with bottles, like so many women are just like, there's just ass everywhere, just ass like everywhere. And they're just like, I mean, it's not like just standing there. Like, I mean, they're like actively like twerking, like just all kinds of.
Was there live music or like a DJ or like?
There was like live performances of like local like SoundCloud rappers and shit, dude. Like, and it was like, there was like dudes like literally smoking blunts in the club, and I was like, oh, this is why we're not allowed to come
Yeah.
here. You know? So, but dude, it was and so I'm sitting here, and then the reality hits. I'm like, oh fuck. I realize where I'm at, and I'm like, I don't know anyone here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
it's
you're
like,
probably one of the only white dudes
that was
there.
one thing I did want to say. I was literally the only white guy there.
Was there someone checking IDs there?
Yeah, they were checking at the door.
Dude, did you not get the weirdest stare?
Oh, yeah.
I could just imagine, like, a black dude checking your ID and being like, what the fuck are you doing here?
You know what's funny? He didn't even charge me a cover charge.
Really?
Because I don't think he thought that I was going to be there that long.
Fair. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just like,
he's like, oh, don't you worry. You'll be right back out. Like,
yeah, I'll see you in 10 minutes, kid.
Yeah.
Don't worry. So, like, I'm sitting up here at the bar, and then, like, I start getting looks, man. And I don't know, like, you know, is it, you know, the color of my skin, or, like, is it just, like, do they think I'm a cop? Like, what is going on? Like,
the beanie.
Yeah, like, it could be anything. You know what I mean? I don't know. And, like, this area that I was at, like, where this club is at, is, like, it's the, I guess you guys can look it up. It's the 8th most dangerous city in America. So, you know?
So they were like, what the fuck is this white dude doing down here?
Yeah, there's a lot of that. And so not really what I would consider to be a
friendly environment
or a nice place to raise a family. That's all I'm saying. And so
you're not taking the missus out for family dinner.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. Everyone who lives there is looking for a way to get out of there, right? And so there's like a little bit of like, you know, some tension. Like people are starting to kind of like catcall me a little bit. I'm like, oh fuck, dude, like what's going down, man? I got, you know, I'm gonna get in a fight. Then I'm gonna be in some real shit. You know what I mean?
They'll be like, you got in a fight. What the fuck were you doing there in the first place?
Yeah, that's gonna be the first
They're gonna pin you down and fucking just back to back blow blunt smoke in your face. I'll be like, you're gonna fail the drug test today.
I swear I didn't want to do it. But so anyway, like I see there's like a situation that kind of brews, you know, and I'm like, okay, like how do I like defuse this situation?
Yeah.
Right. And so I see these guys and they're like all drinking Hennessy, right? And that's like their thing. And so I literally like just order like shots of Hennessy for everyone. And I'm like, hey guys, I was like, you know, like first time here. And I just went and like introduced myself, and I was just like super like generically white about it. Like I was just like,
you're like, hello, my fellow Americans.
Yeah, like, oh, nice to meet you. First time here. And so like I give it to him, and dude, these guys were like the coolest dudes, man. So it turned out like, so a lot of them were like a lot of red bandanas. It turned out they were like in a local chapter of the Bloods. And so I bought them these drinks, and they were super appreciative. And then I spent like the rest of the night just hanging out at their table. And then like I was like smoking Newports with them and shit. And like they were just like the coolest fucking dudes. And they were just telling me all these wild stories of like literally growing up like in the hood and on the streets and stuff. And I was like, holy fuck, man. So cool. Look at this. Look what happens when you cross cultures and shit, dude.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, but I started making jokes with them and stuff, you know, and then like they were laughing their asses off, and they'd just be like, oh man, you funny as hell. I'm like, cool, like, I appreciate that, man.
Be like, you know what? There is a chance. We can come together.
I don't care what those honkies say about you assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys say assholes. Yeah, man. But yeah, no, they were good guys, you know, just you know, kind of grew up in like a different lifestyle, man. You know, I don't have anything bad to say about that place.
That is always fun to like be around people who have no like just the two, like whenever people have nothing in common.
Mm-hmm.
That's always like, it's fun.
It's cool. It makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Everything they say to you is going to be entertaining, and vice versa.
And it's shit that you would never even think of. Like if you explain your mundane shit to them, it's probably fucking interesting. And it's the same with like vice versa.
Yeah. That's one thing I have enjoyed about traveling the most, man. Is you know, you get around people, man. Like you just go to all these different countries, and my favorite part is like just talking to people.
Yeah.
And like getting a couple drinks in, and like having that conversation, man, and like.
Yeah, like comparing countries, comparing customs, traditions. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you do? Like,
I mean, that's how you really learn a lot about like a culture, and society in general. You know, like, I mean, I can't even tell you like how many nights I've just like had with like talking in like pubs with strangers, like all across Western Europe.
Oh yeah,
even in Asia too. You know,
I still stand by this. Typically, people that are non-Americans are nicer than Americans. As far as like in America, I'm not gonna walk up to a random person and just strike up a conversation. But if you're in Europe, like that's extremely common, and everyone's, I don't know,
cool about it.
Yeah.
Here it's like weird.
If someone does that shit to me and I'm at a local bar, I'm gonna be like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you, man?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, you always think that there's like some ulterior motive.
Yeah.
Or, like, what's this guy trying to sell me?
Which I've been in positions where there were ulterior motives. That typically involved drugs or prostitution.
We've all been here before.
But yeah, I mean, like in England, they would tell, like, it was very common for a random guy to buy another dude a drink. Whereas here, it'd be like,
really?
Dude, yeah.
I didn't spend that much time in England.
Like, so the first time I went out, like, I'm randomly started talking to some people, and I saw this dude. He was like, "Oh, let me fucking buy you a drink," and I was like, "No, I'm good, man." And he was like, "No." He's like, "Let me buy it." It was like, "All right." It was like, "I ain't gay." He's like, "No, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?"
He thinks it's weird that you had to bring up.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, I'm not gay, dude.
I gotta explain my sexuality to somebody. He's like, "Dude, you're a fucking weirdo for talking about it." Like, but.
Oh yeah, dude. You know, the Germans are really cool like that too, man. Like they're just all about just having like a good time. Or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, one place I wish I would have spent more time was in Belgium.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever make it out to like Brussels and all that?
I did, but I went to like festivals in Brussels.
Yeah, that's.
I never went to the actual like city and did anything there.
Did you go to that? Was it Tomorrowland or?
No, I went to one called Pukkelpop.
Oh, I've heard about this.
It was fucking awesome, dude. So it's EDM, rap, and metal all in one fucking 3-day event, and it's all going on at the same time. So I saw I saw like multiple EDM artists that I liked at the time. I can't really remember their names, but I saw fucking Limp Bizkit was there, Travis Scott was there, like just random ass people. Shit. Yeah, it was awesome.
Travis Scott, he's the one that's got that song where it's like, it's cold like Minnesota. Is that him? No,
I don't know.
Is that Yachty?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm getting. I think it's that Yachty kid or whatever.
Maybe so.
I don't know. I just remember it being a funny song because I was just like, I was listening to it, I was like, what the fuck? It's like, you know, like some kid rapping about how cold it is in Minnesota. It's like, whatever. Yeah, dude, that's one thing I do miss about that area. Just in general is, you know, so many festivals, man. Like even down to like the local villages have festivals. Yeah. You know, there's
a much greater sense of community, it seems like, in the smaller towns. Yeah. Like around here, like it's close knit, but it's more of like drama. Like people know each other's business. Where in other countries, it's more of like community. Like people look out for each other. Yeah. People
mind your own business.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
They're like cordial and friendly, but it's like actually legitimate. It's not, I'm gonna be friends to your face and talk shit about you behind your back. Yeah, like American tends to be.
Or like catch you doing something. Ooh. Yeah. Like, do you see what I got?
Like, oh, you drank 3 beers at midnight. I seen you, motherfucker.
Ooh. Like, isn't it? It's like when you're like in school or whatever, someone gets called to the principal's office. Yeah. But wasn't that a great feeling when you were the one that was like, ooh?
Instead of the one being called.
Dude, that's what it is, man. That's like the same thing with these internet trolls. All these people freaking out and blowing up, like spreading crap or whatever. All that is people who like never actually left like high school. You know what I mean?
They peaked.
They peaked in
high school,
and they still do it. Like they're like 30 years old, just on the internet, just doing that shit, dude.
Be like, man,
somebody's in trouble.
I don't know what you're doing with your life. I don't fucking care. I got my own shit to worry about.
Especially like that cancel culture bullshit that's going on right now, dude. Because like when you really look into it, like I'm sure there's like some legitimate cases, absolutely right, like of like true like absolute hate speech, shit that you know. Not
some,
cool.
But at the. Like I don't care if people want to talk like hate speech shit, man.
But like I mean, you know, our policy like on this show is just like 100% like freedom of speech across the board. Like who cares, man? I'm a firm believer that great ideas are born out of bad ideas. You know what I mean? Like you got to shuffle through the bullshit to get to the good stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
But man, like some of those cancel culture like issues you look into, man, like God, dude, they're totally blown out of proportion and taken out of context. Like, they'll take a clip of, like, a podcast and be like, look what this guy said.
But it seems like...
But just watch a minute or two before that.
Yeah, and, like, especially with racism shit, like, it seems like the people who care the most about it are not even the people who it affects. Like...
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting thing. Like,
such as, like, Washington Redskins, for instance.
Yeah,
like,
and then it's just, like, a bunch of, like, white...
Yeah, like, white fucking
marching
Karens
street.
and shit care about that shit, but Native Americans were like, we're being represented. Like, there's nothing bad about this whatsoever.
I did think that was cool, man. Like, how, like, they just basically came out and were like, no.
Yeah, they're like, we're not offended by this. This is cool. Like, we appreciate this fucking what's happening. Like...
Yeah, and then I heard there was a university in Florida that kind of happened to. I think it was a university in Florida. And I can't remember the name. I wish I could. But they have like a mascot that's like a full Native American.
Mm-hmm.
But like the head garment, like the feathers, like all the way hanging all the way down, right? And some like super like cancel culture, like super liberal fucks just trying to get their name out there. That's all it's about. We're like talking about how horrible it was, and it was like a stereotype to the community. And then like literally the local tribe there like responded, and they were like, no, we designed that costume.
Mm-hmm.
That's historically accurate. Like, we have a good relationship.
Yeah, this is our fucking representation.
This is our thing.
Yes.
And I thought that was so badass. I was like, oh, hell yeah, dude. Like,
well, man, a story that's like close to home, you know, there's a town close to us called Nigton. It's about 25 minutes away from us. Nigton.
Oh, okay.
There's a sign, and it says it's called Nigton and predominantly black place. But there was a bunch of white people that were like, oh, we need to change the name. This is racist. This is terrible. And the people of Nigton were like, no, leave us alone. We like this. This is our heritage. This is our, like, this is what we're proud to be from fucking Nigton.
We're like 3 generations deep here.
Yeah.
Like, don't come in here and try to.
Yeah, so they canceled that. They were like, no, okay, they left them alone. Because the people that it affected did not fucking care. It's the people that have nothing better to do with their goddamn time than bitch about stuff that doesn't pertain to them at all.
You know what gets me about like all this cancel culture shit, right? Like this like virtue signaling crap or whatever. Like, okay, they initially start them and they found them on what seems like good ideas, right? It's like,
on paper it looks good.
Equality, like, right, like just end racism, end these issues, right? It's bigotry, whatever. But the reality is they blow most cases way out of proportion, where like the other 99% of the population is just like tired of hearing this shit.
Yeah, or they'll fixate on one fucking thing that happened without actually acknowledging the rest of the situation.
Well, what has me concerned is like, especially now you look at everything, everyone's just like, oh, that's racist, or that person's a racist, right?
Yeah.
So that is literally watering down
true racism.
Like, I wouldn't say like it's not mitigating it, but it's allowing it to thrive more. You know what I mean? Because it used to be
it takes away from what it actually is when it's happening.
So I think like what's going to happen is like the general public like won't even like, they'll be like, oh, is that real racism or is it not? You know,
it'll be like a boy who cried wolf scenario. Like, we get tired of hearing it so much, we just dismiss any fucking future evidence of it at that point.
Yeah, and I think that's a really bad place to be, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you get to the point where like people literally stop giving a shit. So like, I don't know, like when I see people like in that, you know, congressional hearing we were talking about earlier, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., you know, that woman was harping on racism and stuff. She knows what she's doing, but it's hurting the overall.
Well, yeah, because she had no realistic argument.
Exactly.